Hey everyone! If you're into romantasy books, think epic romances, dragons, fae courts, and all that good stuff. You've probably heard the buzz about Romantasycon. Well, this past weekend, I went to the one in Los Angeles at the gorgeous Biltmore Hotel, and it was straight up magical. I'm Erica. This is my first time ever making a YouTube video, and I figured why not share everything I learned as someone who drove in every day, no hotel stay, just full commuter mode. From trinket swaps to panels to dancing at the ball, the vibes were incredible. The community was so welcoming and consent focused and just full of bookish joy. In this video, I'm going to break down day by day in chronological order with tons of practical tips that I learned as a first timer if you're thinking about going next year. Whether you're a huge Romantasy fan or just curious about what this event was like, stick around. I've got the highlights, the mishaps, and what I would do differently. Let's jump in. On Thursday, you get there, and as a high fae, I got my goodie bag, which comes in this fantastic drawstring, like canvas bag. And the first thing, check this out. Decent size. And of course, my badge for the weekend with a lanyard, and it says Romantasycon on it. This cute little dragon egg. And it's got a little dragon inside. Very cute. Came with a tiara. Actually, before we go any further, I want to say about this weekend is everyone I met was super nice. And I mean everybody. And it was just a really great weekend. Anyway, it comes with this little bag and it says, "A book is a dream you hold in your hands." Came with this little antiseptic, alcohol, a pen, a little bookish laboratory shop with some stickers and a discount code that's only good until yesterday because it is currently May 3rd, but that's okay. Still got to check out their shop. It's a coupon for 20% off. And then this little Star-Crossed Stories magazine with some stickers and a little barcode for their magazine. This fun little dragon bookmark from Modern Home Decor, and it says, "Scan this code for 20% off your next order." This fantastic little journal with a combination lock on it and a pen. And then this, another bookmark from another author, an art print illustrated by Maggie on Duty. Another art print and a free ebook with a code on the back for a free ebook. Another art print and a little barcode for getting to know the author. Another art print and then some information about the author on the back. Another art print with author information on the back and a bookmark from Anthea Sharp. There was also an envelope in this bag, and it had a drink ticket and 3 raffle tickets. Now, talking to all the volunteers and the bartender, nobody could give me a definite answer on whether or not the drink ticket was only good for that night or it was good all weekend. Anyway, here's another thing that was in there. It's a magnet from Brandy June, the author, and it says "Magic at the Grand Dragonfly Theater," author Brandy June. So that was one thing I was a little disappointed about, is that nobody could tell me what the deal was with the drink ticket. So I actually, I'm sorry, Charlie. He's using my dog. Come here, say hi. This is Charlie. Hi, bud. He's chilling. He's chilling, just listening to us make this video. Go sit down. Yeah, so I found someone who was in line and I asked them if they had a drink ticket. They did not, so I gave them mine. So parking, let me tell you about parking. So the first day I was able to get parking at the hotel. That was Thursday night. And the BookCon was doing a special rate of $35 flat fee for parking, valet, and self-parking. And you had to be sure to get a little paper from the valet person to make sure that you got the special rate. You had to make sure you tell them that you were here for the BookCon so that you did get that special rate. Yeah, so first day, valet. Second day, I was not lucky enough to get a parking spot at the hotel, so I had to park across the street in Pershing Square, which I'll show you a little video that I took of the exit of the Biltmore Hotel and then where the parking garage is. Very, very close, because I was concerned about walking to my car at night in downtown LA alone. But I actually did find a very, very convenient route. Instead of coming out of the front door of the hotel, if you go out the side, it's literally right there across the street. So second day, I did park over there. That's $20. And you get a little ticket when you go in. And then on the first floor of the parking structure, there's a little kiosk where you can pay before you exit the parking structure. Just a note for anybody who has to park over there, they only accept cash or card. They don't take smart pay. And when I say that everybody I met at the convention was super nice, I mean it. I mean, even in the parking lot, because I actually forgot my wallet that day. So I didn't have my physical cards with me. And there was a group of girls who came out from the convention. And if you happen to see this, thank you again very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I asked them if any of them had any kind of payment app like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, any of those. And I asked if it would be possible for them to pay for my parking, and I would Venmo or Zelle them immediately. And one of the girls was super nice. She pulled out $20 and I Venmo'd her immediately, and I was able to get out of the parking lot. So thank you so much to those ladies. $20 at Pershing Square Garage, $35 at the hotel. Now this I have from when I did get self-parking on Saturday morning. I got there just before 9 a.m., right in the 8:50 hour, right there just before 9. I think I was one of the last people to be admitted to the garage, because when I got to level 7, they stopped me and they told me to double park in tenant parking. And I informed them that I was not a tenant, and they said, that's okay, just park here and leave your keys because the rest of the parking garage is full. And that was a problem all weekend. The parking garage filled up fast, and people who were staying there were not leaving for fear of not being able to get back in because it was full. So for self-parking, you get a ticket when you go in. Make sure you get that ticket from the hotel. That gives you the special rate, because there is a kiosk. There's like a little lobby area at the bottom of the parking garage, and then you exit that lobby area and go across the driveway of the hotel to enter the hotel. So that little lobby area, there's like a concierge kind of behind a desk. So make sure you get that, because when you scan this to pay, if you do not scan this, you will be paying $50 to park. So once you have your receipt, just scan your ticket on the way out and you'll get out just fine. Welcome party. Yes, there was 2 separate rooms. I did get a picture of the first room where there was karaoke going on. Amazing. Those ladies that were singing were amazing. So one room, very, very loud karaoke. It was a little too loud for me, so I did not stay in that room. But the other room had a mechanical bull that was dressed up as a minotaur. So it was mechanical minotaur, not a mechanical bull. That was super fun. There was a bar and lots of cocktail tables and seating. So dress code for the welcome party. It did say fairy somewhere. It said come in fairy, cosplay, or casual. And there is a mix of both. I came in a fairy inspired outfit. I thought I was maybe going to be out of place if I didn't dress up, but there was a nice mix of both. There's also this thing that I noticed where consent was very popular. And what I mean by that is, let's say I asked to take a picture with you because you were in this fantastic outfit. I would ask if I could take a picture with you. Like, let's say I went back. You know how normally you kind of put your hand behind someone's back or on their shoulder or something when you're taking a picture with them? Well, that person would ask if it was okay if they touched me when we took a picture. So again, everyone, super nice, very, very good about asking for consent for photos, hugs, posing, everything like that. So there was a couple different ways that the convention communicated with everyone, which I think was too much because I did not have a clear understanding of what I was expected to do. The Discord is one of the ways that the convention would communicate with everyone. And there is a link to that on their Instagram page in their link tree. There was also an app called Guidebook, which was another way that they were announcing things and communicating to everyone. What I didn't find out until later is when it comes to panels and author signings, ticketed author signings, you have to make a reservation on Guidebook as well as Eventbrite. That was not clear to me. I don't know where I read it, but I did see that I believe it was an email that was sent to me. Reservations for author signings, ticketed author signings, and panels would open on a certain day at a certain time. And if you were high fae or higher, you got early access to that. I think you got like a day, you have to go on like a day before everybody else and make your reservations for those things. I didn't know who a lot of these authors were. And the panel names were kind of funny. Like there was one panel called Sound Effects, which, and there was no description. So I didn't sign up for it. The only panel I signed up for was the very last panel on the very last day, which included Victoria Aveyard and Stasia Stark, with the moderator being from the Ripped Bodice bookstore. So I did not make a reservation on Guidebook. I actually thought that the app was more for your own personal use of just like, okay, these are the things that I want to do today. I'm going to kind of make my schedule so that I can stay organized for the day and make sure I hit everything that I want to hit. That is not the case. You actually have to make a reservation for either the ticketed author or a panel. It was also a good place for trinket swaps, which these are some of my favorite trinket swaps that I got. They're little earrings. Let me see if I can. They're little earrings with hearts, one of my favorites. There was a trinket swap section, so you could say like, hey, I've got things to trade, find me, or I'll be around all day. A lot of people had on their book cart, they had a little sign that says, come say hi to me, I have trinkets to trade. So I did do that. These were really fun. These were like little ribbons that you could put on the bottom of your badge. Some people had a lot. So pay attention to the app, pay attention to Eventbrite, pay attention to Instagram, Facebook. There's really a lot of things to pay attention to if you really want everything. Friday, full convention day, full swing, panels were going, ballrooms were open. In each ballroom, there was like vendors and authors that did not require a special reservation ticket to see. Now, one thing that a lot of people had was a book cart. So it was just a square cart that they would lug around all their books in to get signed by the authors. Can you imagine carrying around a ton of books? Well, a lot of people did it. They actually had a book cart check-in. So for people who wanted to check their cart into this room, it was in the Tiffany Ballroom. It was kind of like Disneyland stroller parking. Like you check in your cart, you get a ticket, you can come in and out to take books and stuff out of your cart whenever you wanted to. And then if you wanted to claim your cart, you had to give them your ticket. This is just from what I've heard. I did not personally bring a book cart because I did see something about book carts. There was a lot of questions about them. I did see mention of book plates, so I decided to make my own book plates. So I made a bunch of blank ones, except for one. I'll see if I can find it in this stack. Yes. Since Victoria Aveyard was the only panel I signed up for, I decided to make one with her name at the bottom there. And then I got her autograph. So super fun. But the rest of them, I just kind of wrote the name in at the bottom so that when I look at this later, I know whose signature I got. Friday, I went to 2 panels in the morning. And the panels were about 45 minutes each. And I would say that if you did not sign up for any panels, maybe you thought, what the heck am I going for? I paid money for this ticket and I don't even get to do anything because I didn't sign up for anything because I didn't know what to expect, which is what I thought, which is not true. They did announce on the guidebook app that they would be having, I believe it was like 250 standby slots. I did take a screenshot of that, so I'll put that here for each panel. But I had actually no trouble getting into the panels. The very first panel, they did make people who were there for standby wait off to the side while they checked everybody in who did have a reservation. But after a few minutes, they were just like, hey, there's plenty of room. Go ahead and go sit down. Yeah, so no issues with any of the panels that I wanted to attend. One of the things that was a little bit, I don't want to say annoying, but it was annoying for me. There was an AV guy in the ballroom, and at the end of every panel, almost all the panels, they would leave some time for questions and answers. And some panels were very organized, and they would say, please line up in the center of the room. Our AV guy has a mic, and you can ask questions as soon as we're done with this portion of the panel. So people would line up, they would ask questions on the mic. And there was one panel that I was in that I guess didn't know. And so when questions started, he was trying to run to where everyone was seated to give them the microphone so that everyone could hear the question. And someone said, no thanks, I'm loud enough, they can hear me, the panel. Well, it's not just for the panel. It's really nice when the rest of the room can also hear the question that's being asked, because sometimes the answer doesn't make sense if you didn't hear the question. So tip, take the mic if it's offered so that everyone can hear your question. I heard that they were very strict about letting people in who had ticketed author signing reservations. I guess there was multiple authors in each room, and you were only allowed to go to the authors that you had a ticket for. And before you got your stuff signed, they would check and make sure you had a ticket. Apparently, it was only 3 items per person for that. I did not go up there, but that's just from what I heard. Bookshop. So there was a bookshop upstairs, just one level up from the main level, called the Ripped Bodice. And for telling myself that I wasn't going to buy anything this weekend, I walked away with 6 books, which I feel like is not bad. So yeah, there's plenty for you to do if you did not get a ticket to an author signing or a panel. So most authors had a Sharpie or some kind of marker or pen at their table, but I did run into a few that did not. So if you're looking to get some stuff signed, I would say bring a couple Sharpies, bring some pens so that you for sure get your autographs. Food. Okay, so downstairs in the Biltmore Bowl, there was a quick service area that had sandwiches. They had turkey sandwiches, roast beef sandwiches, and a veggie wrap that had falafel and veggies. And then they had chips, and I think they had a fruit cup. I can't remember, but they had soda and sparkling water and hot tea and coffee. It was $25 for a sandwich and chips, and the tea, I had hot tea because I was kind of chilly. It was $5 for the tea. There's also a bar / quick bites area on the main floor. So you can go over there too for a quick bite, or you can leave the hotel and walk to a nearby location, grab something to eat. Saturday was the final day of the convention and the ball at night. The convention ended at about 4 p.m. and the ball didn't start till like 8:30, I think. One of the things that they announced on the app before the convention was that there was going to be a photographer there called Pixie Vision who was going to be offering photo shoots, $65 for a 10-minute session. So Saturday night, the ball, after I somehow managed to kill 4 hours in between the end of the convention and the ball, went to the library. I went to the last bookstore. So time for the ball, 8:30. Now there was 3 ballrooms that the ball was taking place in. The first room had refreshments. There was like little desserts. I think 4 or 5 different desserts. There was plenty of seating. It was very low lighting. They kind of dimmed the lights in the room. There was photo ops in the corner, but the lighting again was very, very dim, almost complete darkness in that corner where the photo ops were. So that was fun. So because the Biltmore is actually older and the lighting is not very good anyway in this hotel, I would say bring a little portable light so that you can just clip it on your phone and just have well-lit pictures, because the hotel is beautiful, but if you look awesome and the hotel looks awesome, but you just can't capture it because the lighting sucks, bad pictures are not good. So that's one of my tips. Bring a portable light and a phone charger, because lots of pictures. I was taking a picture with every author that I got an autograph for. So my phone was pretty much dead by the end of the day. So the second room, there was dancing and a DJ with very, very loud music. I don't know why this convention likes loud things, but they do. There was a DJ, there was an acrobat that was doing like silk work on the silks, like from this giant triangle when you walk in. There was also in the corner an acrobat in like a giant bird cage kind of thing. And then at 10:30, there were fire performers on the stage in this room where there was all the dancing. So that was really fun. They had different like sticks and objects that were basically on fire that they would twirl. And this one girl, she had like 2 hula hoops that were on fire, and she was doing the hula hoop with one of them and like spinning the other one with her hand. Amazing. Now, just adjacent to this room where all the dancing was and the performers and the acrobats, there was more of like a lounge style room, and it just had, again, a bar. But this room, the music was pumping through the dance room to this room, not via speakers or anything, but just like whatever you could hear through the open doors that connected the both rooms. In this room, there was dragon statues and a knight in armor for photos. This room was very dark. So again, if you're looking for some decent pictures, bring a little portable light. Outside the lobby was a pumpkin carriage that was all lit up. Really beautiful. The line for that photo op was extremely long. It did not move. It was just for a photo. So it did not give rides. But again, lighting. It was dark outside. And I don't know if you know this, but when you're lit from behind, you tend to turn out very dark. You tend to become like a silhouette. So lighting. Bring a portable light. I cannot say it enough times because I wish I had brought one. And this was super fun. This is what I'm talking about, like connecting later on. So this is a little scratch off. It comes with a penny, and then you scratch it off, and it says, reveal your next book. And then this is just a picture of them and a little bit about them. It says, we're so glad our paths crossed at Romantasycon LA 2026. Use your lucky coin to reveal your next read and use the flags to mark the chapters that make your heart race. So here's like the little flags. So I absolutely love this. So let me go through my list here and make sure I covered everything. We did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, here's a note for the panels. I actually saw some people with a notebook and pen taking notes at panels. I don't know what they were writing. I did not have a reason to take notes. There was nothing I wanted to remember that badly. So if you want to take notes at a panel, bring a notebook and pen. Make sure you bring your own Sharpie and pen just in case. Some snacks, some water, some chapstick because that's important for me. Some comfy shoes. Make sure you sign up for the panels. I would say, honestly, there wasn't a panel that I went to that I did not enjoy. But the panels, they go all day long, so you could totally spend your entire day in panels, or you can spend the entire day going around to each ballroom and meeting all of the authors. I don't think it's possible to do everything, but maybe if you're determined, you can get everything done. I don't know. That's up to you. The panel names can be tricky. Sometimes there's a description and sometimes there's not. But like I said, there wasn't a panel I went to that I didn't enjoy. Every time you went into a room, they would check for your badge. So make sure that's visible at all time. Discord, very, very good to have that for chats with other attendees. Guidebook for official stuff, the guidebook app. Going to leave the Canva file down below. Here's all of the, like at every table, they would have some kind of like postcard that was like either an art print or just information about the author themselves. or the next book that's coming out and information about that. This is like a free audiobook or ebooks. Some were that, things like that. So this is like all of those things that I collected from each author's table so that I could look them up later and find their audiobooks. Sometimes it was just as simple as a bookmark with a barcode on it, that kind of thing. That's all I have. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about something I didn't cover, or you want to tell anybody about your experience, please leave it in the comments below. I just wanted to put my experience out there so that you knew what to expect if you've never done this before and you would like to do it eventually. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.